Dr. Jeffrey Farkas. But what we're also doing is celebrating a generous gift that the family gave. And that gift is not, the gift is not to buy a sign. The gift is to create another program for a child. The gift is there to bring happiness to a child, to bring good into this world, to train volunteers, to make an impact in general on how people see children with special needs in our community. So when we take this gift and we put it to use, and we train a certain amount of volunteers, when 35 children this summer will learn how to ride a bicycle for the first time, when parents thought that they would never be able to ride a bicycle, through a special program that we have, when we have a social skills camp. These are things that have ripple effects and will forever impact the world. And this is done from the inspiration and to replace the spiritual loss of Dr. Jeffrey Farkas. So what we're really celebrating today is the fact that no matter how tragic and horrifying it is, such a tragedy, we can still rise up, we can still continue to bring good in this world in his memory. And that's what's most beautiful about what's happening today. To give a further tribute, I want to call upon Dr. Farkas' sister, Beth, who will introduce afterwards the following speakers. Thank you.
What I'm going to read today is an excerpt from Jeff's personal statement attached to his application for when he was applying for hospitals of residency. So I'm going to read in his voice now. I have had a wide variety of jobs since I was a child, and I have found that the ones that I enjoyed most involved close relationships with people. This, along with my interest in biological science, is what attracted me to the field of medicine. My initial interest in pediatrics began as I worked as a camp counselor during the summers as an undergraduate. The qualities I enjoyed most about the children were their enthusiasm and spontaneity. During my clinical rotations, I found that the ability to help ease a sick child's suffering was a most gratifying experience. There are certain qualities I possess which I feel make me well suited for this career. First, I am a motivated and enthusiastic person, yet I am calm and composed when difficult situations arise. I believe that these qualities will allow me to function effectively as an intern and resident. Secondly, I am compassionate. I can empathize with a sick child and understand how traumatic it can be for a hospitalized child in a strange environment surrounded by unfamiliar faces. I also understand the incredible stress that a parent experiences when having to care for a sick child themselves or having a hospitalized child. A pediatrician must be a person who can relate well to children and also communicate effectively with their parents. I feel that my personal qualities will enable me to do this in a warm, caring, yet professional manner. I also believe these traits will allow me to work well with my colleagues in this field. I know that it is important now to start thinking about the future, since there are many options once one completes a pediatric residency. At this point, I am interested in possibly continuing on towards a fellowship program. I planned on finding a specialty which fits my interests and strengths. I hope eventually to work in or near a larger city where I can treat people with a variety of backgrounds, both culturally and socioeconomically. I feel that balancing my time between clinical, research, and possible academics will be the most fulfilling to me. Within the field of pediatrics, I know I will find the right niche where I can be interested and involved throughout my medical career. Mm-hmm. You want me to?
Yes.
Next, my mom, Jeff's mom, is going to read a speech. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who helped make this possible.
My husband Don, who enthusiastically supported this endeavor, Rabbi and Basi Shem Tov, Heschel Stein, and everyone else on the staff here who took our idea of donating to Friendship Circle in Jeff's name and came up with ideas to bring about this meaningful tribute to Jeff. I would also like to thank all of you for attending. I am glad Jeff's father, Jerry, could be here, and his Aunt Michelle and Uncle Neil, who also traveled from Pittsburgh, and who opened not only their home, but their hearts to Jeff when he started his residency at Children's Hospital there. Jeff received many honors. He graduated from U of M with distinction, from medical school with high distinction, was elected to Alpha Omega Alpha in the National Medical Society, and received the Anna Rutsky Award for outstanding work in pediatrics. But when I was proudest of him was when he came to me nearing graduation and said, "Everyone tells me I should go into a lucrative field because of all my honors, but all I really want to do is help children." So he chose pediatrics, probably one of the least monetarily rewarding of all medical practices. I can think of two of the many anecdotes of Jeff's love for the children he treated. His colleagues noted that Jeff chose to stay late and play video games with the kids who were patients at the hospital to distract them from their suffering. And when he was in Pittsburgh, Jeff told me he stayed all night holding a dying child's hand, even though Jeff was already off duty. In spite of all his academic achievements, anyone who knew Jeff certainly understood he wasn't an egghead or a nerd. He was one of the most well-rounded and fun-loving people I knew. Jeff was the good, dutiful son who studied, got good grades, worked at an amazing array of jobs, including everything from camp counselor to waiter and many, many more, even a brief stint as a janitor. In spite of his busy schedule, he still managed to enjoy life with total zest, whether it be whitewater rafting, skiing, racquetball, the beauty of nature, the joy of music. I could go on forever about his passions, and always wanting his friends and family to share his enthusiasm with him. Everyone knew of his great love for animals. He spent endless time and energy desperately trying to nurse back to health our aged dog Toto, feeding him with an eyedropper, carrying him lovingly from place to place when he could no longer walk until even he acknowledged it was hopeless, then cradling him gently while he was put to sleep. And oh, how he loved family. His father, Jerry, lost not only his son, but his best friend. I know that Beth has so dearly missed not having her only sibling with whom to share childhood memories and present family joys, and how truly sad that her children are not able to know this special person who would have been, I'm sure, an involved, caring, and fun-loving uncle, and the additional cousins they could have had to bond with, enjoy, and enlarge their family circle. Excuse me. Just like the recent events at Newtown and Boston, Jeff's was a senseless act of violence that destroyed someone who could have contributed so much in this world. We have two other awards in Jeff's name, one at Wayne State Medical School and the other at Pittsburgh Children's Hospital, but we wanted a permanent physical tribute to him. We have searched long and hard the last 23 years for an appropriate place we felt would be somewhere Jeff would have loved and wanted to support. We feel we have certainly found this here at Friendship Circle for all the great good it does for the children who come here to be taught, nurtured, and embraced. It is also fitting that this is a place where his niece and nephew, our grandchildren, Jessica and Mitchell, have enthusiastically volunteered for several years. So we feel certain that the Jeffrey Farkas Pediatric Care Center here at Friendship Circle is exactly the perfect and lasting tribute to Jeff's blessed memory and represents the doctor's office that Jeff was never able to have.
We're now going to step up and come to the office